I, Prakriti Diman, welcomes you all again for our next lecture session. We are privileged by the presence of Dr. Ashish Baldi. Dr. Baldi is presently working as Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Science and Technology, Maharaja Ranjit Singh Punjab Technical University, Batinda. Sir has 17 years of experience, 3 patents, 2 design applications, 8 books, 4 special issues, over 120 national and international publications, 14 book chapters, more than 160 papered at conference or seminar in India and abroad, and several best paper awards to his credit. Presently, he is supervising 6 research projects granted by various government agencies like Ministry of Ayush, DST, ICMR, FITM, etc., worth about 1.25 crores. Sir had completed 13 major and minor research projects and transferred 2 technologies to leading pharmaceutical industries. We welcome you, sir. May I request sir to please start with his deliberation? Sir, please. Sir, you are not audible.
So is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be with you people in this particular FDP, and I congratulate the Columbia Institute of Pharmacy for organizing such a wonderful event as far as this topic is concerned. And I thank Dr. Shiv Shankar Shukla and his team also for inviting me on this lecture. So, dear friends, as you all know, there are very averse topics in drug discovery. And if we talk about some recent trends in drug discovery as well as therapeutics, we will find that artificial intelligence is coming up like anything. And we are exploring at our lab, we are exploring one particular aspect of artificial intelligence in herbal drugs. And therefore, our talk is based on the perspective and prospects of artificial intelligence in herbal drugs. So on behalf of my university, Maharaja Ranjit Singh Punjab Technical University, Batinda, I once again welcome all of you. And this is my Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology at the university, and my lab, Pharma Innovation Lab. Whenever we talk about something we achieve in life, we always pay our regards to our teachers, our mentors, and our guide. So I dedicate this talk to respected Shailen Saraf sir and Swarnlata Saraf ma'am, because of them we started this journey of academics in our life. So as far as the excellent environment in Columbia Institute of Pharmacy is concerned, and I must say that this is one of the best institute as far as Chhattisgarh is concerned. So during my last talk at Columbia College of Pharmacy, I wrote this particular poem for Chhattisgarh, that जेकर हृदय मा किसान रहिवा, जेकर जन्म दिए कई महान बिटवा, ये लाडला है भारत माँ का, धरती चीर के देत है टीन सबका, जे पोषे सब भाईला उपजा के धान, सबका प्यारा मोर छत्तीसगढ़वा महान. So with these words, I would like to start my talk on artificial intelligence. But dear friends, whenever we talk about science, it basically depends on 2 things. One is that we have to think outside the box. The conventional thinking we have to leave, and then only we can think new, we can think novel, and we can achieve innovativeness. And with that particular thinking, we have to put efforts, and therefore this ABCDE of life I am putting in. A is aim, belief, then concentration, determination, and then your efforts. Then only your research or any particular goal can be achieved. And therefore this ABCDE should be remembered throughout the life as far as the academics or any part of life is concerned. At our lab, we are working with 8 research fellows and a grant of around 1.25 crore. And we are blessed that our lab's work has been featured as top 2% scientists worldwide in pharmacy and pharmacology for the year 2019. As I have talked about what innovative we are doing, we are preparing fizzy drinks. That means if you prepare a tablet and you dissolve it in water, it will convert into thumbs up, Pepsi or Mirinda. So that kind of innovative fizzy drinks we are developing, and we are on the verge of technology transfer in that. As far as herbal drugs are concerned, we are working on mobile app development of QChat, and that I will discuss you today based on artificial intelligence. Then we have already agroclimatic mapping we have already performed for Punjab to find out that what kind of plants can be cultivated in which area of the Punjab. And then we are working on very miniature kind of tablets, mini tabs, and all other novel drug delivery systems at our lab. So this particular talk will concentrate on two of our findings. One is by DST SERB and the other one is by NMPB Ayush. And in this, we are working on artificial intelligence based devices for herbal drugs. So we will talk on this particular issue. As you all know that herbal drugs we consume in a daily life also, as well as they are relied as far as Ayurvedic concept is concerned. But yes, herbal medicines, botanical medicines, or phytomedicines, we all talk about since ages. But there is a problem that when the demand increases of this kind of herbal drugs, a big concern of adulteration remains a major aspect as far as problems faced by industry and all other stakeholders is concerned. So there is a need of quality certification techniques that quickly analyze the quality of particular herbal drugs in very quick manner. And therefore, if we go about collective techniques for identification of herbal drugs, we find out that morphological characterization based on its organoleptic characters, and physicochemical authentication as far as physical and chemical moieties are concerned. Then chromatographic fingerprinting is one other aspect of identification and characterization of herbal drugs. Then that comes the computational techniques, which we will talk about in today's lecture. And then molecular authentication as far as molecular biology and other genetic aspects are concerned. So these are the recent trends as far as the identification and characterization of herbal drugs is concerned. As far as the morphological characterization is concerned, we all know and we study in pharmacognosy subject that color, shape, texture, size, fracture, external surface, markings, fruit length or width ratio, even the seed and all other aspect, leaf width, odor and taste, all this we go for organoleptic or morphological characterization. On that basis we identify a particular herbal drug. As far as microscopic characterization is concerned, we perform two kind of studies. One is powdered form and other one is TS or LS. In those also we look out for certain features, cells, epidermis, fibers, parenchymatous cells, stone cells, and all other aspects which I covered in this particular slide. We generally have microscopic characterization for powdered form, and then there are certain common features in TS and LS also. So we, based on the histology or tissue section cutting, we can identify that this particular portion is reflecting what herbal drugs, and in this way we conduct the normal experiment. As far as quantitative and qualitative analysis of herbal drugs is concerned, we go for characterization and quantitation of active metabolites or the pharmacologically active compounds, or what we can say phytocompounds like alkaloids, carbohydrates, food fibers, even fixed oils, flavonoids, glycosides, and all other in conventional method. As far as our quantitative analysis is concerned, we go by UV, HPLC, HPLC, and all other conventional analytical techniques. But as far as physicochemical characterization is concerned, you all must be aware with acid soluble, insoluble ash, soluble ash, soluble extractives, foreign matter, LOD, sulfated ash, and there are other certain parameters which normally perform for characterization of herbal drug. But then there comes a recent phenomena of artificial intelligence. Now this word itself indicates what is artificial and intelligence. That means we use computer to model intelligent behavior with minimum human intervention. That means that we are creating an artificial intelligence, and we are putting machines to give the decisions. So that decision making base is based on certain language processing. One is pattern recognition, visual perception, and then decision making. So how we go ahead as far as artificial intelligence is concerned in herbal drugs, that we will cover in this particular lecture. And I must assure that if you go through this particular aspect, it will be very fascinating research area as far as herbal drugs are concerned. So in artificial intelligence, we basically uh, deal with machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning is nothing but we train machine, or in other way computer, in such a way, in form of algorithms, in form of certain programs, that we develop a software to train itself to perform particular tasks. Like we can recognize the speech, we can recognize the image, and we can even interpret that what particular image is taking as a query image, and what particular interpretation of that particular processing will lead to what kind of results. For example, if we train a machine or a computer program in such a way that it will depending on its database, image database, it can interpret that what kind of herbal drug is there. For example, you can see in the Facebook that whenever your picture is uploaded by somebody, it will recognize your face, and it suggests you that your pic is uploaded on the Facebook. That means that deep learning is within the program, within the algorithm, and therefore that deep learning is making some decisions that this particular picture is uploaded is of that particular person, and that they can interpret on the basis of that, and then they can give you result on this on the basis of machine learning and involving the deep learning practices as far as decision making is concerned. So when I talk about a question that can a plant-based drug be authenticated by artificial intelligence, the answer is yes. Why I am saying that if Facebook can recognize your face, if I train the computer in such a way that it can recognize a particular herbal drug, I think it is possible, and we are doing what exactly this. That means that we are particularly putting the pictures of herbal drugs in a database. We are creating a database, huge database of around 10-20,000 pictures of that particular herb. We are creating that particular picture database or image database. Before that, we pre-process the image in terms of image cleaning, and then we extract a certain features that I will elaborate in the later half. We extract certain features and then put some classifiers so that image recognition and retrieval take place. And when this image recognition and retrieval take place, it gives a decision particularly based on the training which we give in terms of algorithms or processing as far as this herbal drug artificial intelligence base is concerned. So what is the difference between manual approach and artificial intelligence or computational approach? Yes, the computational approach has increased accuracy and increased productivity, while the manual approach has less accuracy because you should have the knowledge, particular knowledge to understand that whether this particular herbal drug is this or not. Despite of so many significant advances, still we rely heavily on manual approach to identify a particular drug, and therefore we have to shift it to computational approach in such a way that you take a pic of that particular herbal drug, upload it in a database, and then you can interpret that this particular picture uploaded is of this particular herb, and therefore we have to see the accuracy and productivity of that, which is higher in case of computational approach. It is economic and also saves time, and therefore it is advantageous as far as manual approach of identification of herbal drug is concerned. For example, this is one of the image of bhindi which is taken in a natural background, By image processing and putting suitable classifier, we can highlight particular features of okra or bhindi in, in, in front of simple background, and then we can identify. And if you upload that particular picture of bhindi into that as a query image, it can identify you that the image you uploaded is of bhindi. And that is the beauty of artificial intelligence, that you need not to understand what the basics of pharmacognosy or what the basics of botany is concerned. You train a particular computer in terms of algorithm, and it will give you the results as you interpret out of that particular thing. So in this particular study, we have a study Ashoka bark and its adulteration. So before going to the Ashoka bark, it is a common bark obtained from Saraka Ashoka, and is useful in several Ayurvedic and Ayurvedic preparations for gynecological problems, menstrual disorders, uterine bleeding, anti-cancer and anti-tumor properties, anthelmintic preparations, anti-arthritic and anti-estrogenic properties, and even in constipation and emulsions. So there are so many therapeutic use of Ashoka bark. And if I talk about the availability of Ashoka bark and its use, at around 2000 metric ton estimated annual trade is there for Ashoka bark. But you will be surprised to hear that around 82% of Ashoka bark is adulterated. That means out of 2000 metric ton requirement, only 400 metric ton is the real Ashoka bark, and rest are adulterated. That means there is a very high possibility of adulteration in Ashoka bark, which is going to take place in case of Ayurvedic preparation, and which goes unnoticed. And I am talking on the basis of a report of National Medicinal Plant Board, that this particular Saraka Ashoka is around 75 to 82% adulterated, which is used by so many industries in India and abroad. So what is the major adulteration of Saraka Ashoka? What we generally see in our houses, near houses, is strong erect tree, which normally we called as false Ashoka ya Ashoka. That is Polyalthia longifolia. But the bark which we question for therapeutic use is Saraka Ashoka, and it is completely different from Polyalthia longifolia. And this particular false Ashoka, we generally mistaken as an identity of Saraka Ashoka, and that bark we generally use for this particular purpose. So what we did is, we identified some unique features that is present on Saraka Ashoka bark and not present on Polyalthia longifolia bark, which is adulterant of this particular Saraka Ashoka bark. That means some characteristics are very unique to Saraka Ashoka, while some characteristics are very unique to Polyalthia. So on this basis, we have to train our software, we have to develop algorithm in such a way that that particular unique feature can be easily identified by the software, and then it can be interpreted that whether it is Saraka Ashoka bark or Polyalthia longifolia bark. So I will discuss some of the distinguished features we isolated from these barks. On your left hand side, this is Saraka Ashoka bark, and on your right hand side, this is Polyalthia longifolia bark. So you can see the inner surface of both these barks, and you can easily interpret that the color of both these barks are different. One is reddish brown in color, the other one is pale or yellowish brown in color. One is very hard fibrous surface, but the other one is very strongly fibrous. You can easily peel up the fibers on the internal surface, and this is very distinguishable, like color, on the basis of color as well as fibrous surface, we can easily identify that this kind of two kinds of bark are different. Other features on the upper side of the bark is one is lenticels. You will find some circular lenticels on the Saraka Ashoka bark. You can find out some circular hole like structures with a centered place as shown in the picture here. And in case of Polyalthia longifolia bark, you will find that there is an indistinct vertical lenticel. That means that circular shape is missing as far as lenticels are concerned. The cracks which are visible, here are very less prominent and joined. While in case of Saraka Ashoka, Polyalthia longifolia bark, these cracks are more prominent, more wide, and this surface is also slightly curved. That means if I go to the last slide, you can easily find that this particular on the right hand side, that the bark is very curved, while on the left hand side, it is not so curved. And the woody texture of Saraka Ashoka bark is also very distinct as far as these unique characters are concerned. So we have identified that yes, this is the color, the fibrous nature of the inner surface, the circular lenticels and indistinct lenticels, and the cracks which appeared on the external side is the unique features. On this basis we can have something as artificial intelligence based recognition of this particular bark and its adulteration by Polyalthia longifolia is concerned. So what we generally do is we created a setup for image collection. Now how we will go ahead, whenever you click a picture, you will find in mobile that there are so many filters around. You can enhance your image quality, you can enhance your color, you can change your texture, and all this you do normally in the mobile phone. The similar pattern is we what we have adopted here is image pre-processing. That means either we have to enhance the quality of image, or sometimes if the quality is better we have to put it down. Then the noise removal, the other parts which are not in question, or which are not our area of our features identify, that should be removed. Then the image should be cropped in a particular size. Then we analyze different layers in terms of weight decays, and then the learning takes place. And then we go on accuracy and precision of that learning, that how accurately this image retrieval get done with the help of algorithm. And then we validate that whatsoever database we have created in image processing we are doing, whether it is giving accurate and precise results as far as fine tuning of images are concerned. So these all is done on the basis of pattern recognition. What kind of patterns are there in the image? Like face recognition. Face recognition is similar. They identify a particular pattern on your face. They identify particular unique features on your face, and then that they compare with the standard, the earlier pictures, and then a decision is made that okay, this particular picture belongs to this particular herb, or this particular picture or photo is of that particular person. So in this way, we have experimentally set up the database for image, experimental setup for image collection we have created, and we have adopted all this procedure to get our final image for further processing and decision making. So this is a few of the pictures from reference image database of Saraka Ashoka and Polyalthia longifolia from inner and outer sides. We created a huge database of around 10,000 pictures per feature, and then all these 50,000 pictures are uploaded on the database, and that database will help us in creation of results as far as the image processing is concerned. So that database we have created for easy understanding of adulteration of Saraka Ashoka and its adulteration with Polyalthia. We have created a very simple Google form in which you have to answer 10 questions based on the bark you are having. That means the bark you are having as a sample bark. You can immediately go to that particular Google form and you can answer those questions. And based on the questions and the answer you are giving, that Google form will give you an interpretation that whether it is a pure Saraka Ashoka bark, whether it is a pure adulterated form of Polyalthia bark, or whether there is a possibility of mixture of adulteration as far as Saraka Ashoka bark is concerned. So in that way, we have created a very easy way and very very applicable way to understand the adulteration on the basis of questionnaire, online questionnaire. So this is what we have done is anybody in this world can go for this kind of questionnaire. They can easily see the images, references images, and reference images. From that they can easily answer that this particular sample I am having has this particular feature or not. Based on their answers, they will get a particular score, and that particular score will tell whether what is the purity of Sarabka bark or its adulteration in the particular sample which we are talking about. Why we have developed it? That there are so many herbal drug collectors, herbal uh, uh, farmers who are involved in medicinal plant cultivation, and then there other stakeholders like mediators, buyers, sellers, industries, and there are so many other stakeholders as far as medicinal and aromatic plants are concerned. I am taking this particular example to make you understand that on this basis we can find out the adulteration of herbal drugs. In another project we are working on adulteration of spices, as far as this artificial intelligence based system is concerned, but we will discuss it somewhere else. But as far as this particular kind of questionnaire is concerned, you can easily answer your queries and you can identify that whether this particular herbal drug is what you are thinking or it is adulterated, and if it is adulterated, what is the adulteration possibility and what kind of adulteration is there with this particular thing. So on this basis of image database and then further processing as far as algorithm is concerned, what we have done is we developed the image database, as I told you, for imaging based on classifier and pattern recognition. And then we are developing a mobile app that is known as QCheck, Quality Certification of Herbal Entity using Computational Knowledge. QCheck, Quality Check. That mobile app we are developing. So that mobile app will consist of some communication portal consisting of knowledge about spices and herbs and its possible adulterants, and then an interactive platform for all stakeholders who are involved in production or farming or trading or processing or authentication. All this will be clubbed in this particular interactive platform which we are developing with the help of mobile app. And how our mobile app will be developed? We have an app idea that how we will go ahead with this. We are developing a prototype as far as mobile app development is concerned. Then feature set and graphic designs will be inserted, and app will be developed in compatible language so that it can be Android compatible or it can be other kind of systems compatible to that. So depending on our particular app, we are developing a particular mobile app, so that what you can do is you can put a image. We have an image database in the mobile app already there, which we developed. We trained the database in such a way that if you upload a camera pic, अगर आप अपने मोबाइल से कोई पिक्चर लेते हैं और उसको हमारे मोबाइल ऐप पर डालते हैं, तो वो इंटरप्रेट करके आपको रिजल्ट देता है बेस्ड ऑन द डाटाबेस एंड द ट्रेनिंग व्हिच इज गिवन to that particular system. On that basis it suggests, it goes to cloud based server, it takes assistance of that image database, और वो आपको रिजल्ट दे देगा कि आपने जो पिक्चर अपलोड की है वो किस पर्टिकुलर स्पीशी की है या किस पर्टिकुलर हर्ब की है, एंड इवन it will suggest you if some adulteration is there. That means it can identify the spice or herb, and then secondly it can also identify the particular uh, uh, adulteration in that particular herbal entity. On the other hand, what we are doing is we are developing SOPs for chemical characterization and standards, and we are linking all Ayush labs, NMPB labs, food safety labs, NAPL lab and CISCO lab in the region, so that if you want to assess, that you want to have a test on qualitative and quantitative estimation of your crop or your herb, based on that particular information, the GPS enabled information, you can identify that what is the nearest testing lab available with me. For example, you are in Chhattisgarh, you are at a place like Korba, and you want to search that मुझे ये particular herb की testing करानी है, तो मैं ये कहाँ से करा सकता हूँ. So then you will just click on our mobile app, and that will give you the nearest location of Ayush or NMPB lab, that where you can carry out the test. And along with that, you can have the standard operating procedures and standard value of all the qualitative and quantitative characterization to be compared with pre-fed standards. That means you can easily evaluate the quality of the herbal drug. But the basic problem with herbal drugs and its industrial acceptance for Ayurvedic or pharmaceutical formulations are concerned, that the quality of herbal drugs are not uniform. So by this way, you can address the problem of quality. You can have a certification of the quality of the herbal drug which you are having as a you know uh, as a sample to sell out or as a sample to procure. And then industries or farmer or trader all can assess this particular feature of mobile app, and they can have this particular testing done, and then they can have a certified crop or herb, lot or batch, what we can say, a batch particularly certified for these particular qualities. And in that way, industrial acceptance of these particular herbs will increase. So all these facilities will be integrated in our mobile app, and then it will it is generally developed in terms of very simple language. We are trying to use some vernacular language also. Right now we are working on Punjabi and Hindi and English, but we can use other languages also later on. So on this basis, we are developing a comprehensive mobile app kind of platform based on artificial intelligence to detect that what kind of herb it is, and then secondly, what kind of adulteration is possible in this kind of herbs, and it can detect that particular adulteration. So this all is manual less, or what we can say, there is no involvement of human being except uploading a picture on the mobile app. So that is the beauty of this artificial intelligence based system. And we are providing training of this particular developed platform for students and professionals from related fields. We are providing the training to farmers, we are providing the training to housewives, we are providing the training to local suppliers and shop owners, so that they can utilize our this under development platform as far as mobile app is concerned, and they can easily identify that there is adulteration in spices, there is adulteration in herbs, and what is the quality of those particular herbs. As far as the use of those particular herbal drugs in household remedies or industrial remedies, pharmaceutical remedies, Ayurvedic remedies are concerned. So that is the beauty of this particular uh, mobile app based platform we are developing on the basis of artificial intelligence. As far as applications of artificial intelligence in herbal drug is concerned, I have talked about only one aspect, that is identification of possible adulterants. But dear friends, very fascinating aspects of artificial intelligence in herbal drugs are coming. If you go for a cropping or farming of herbal drugs, you can easily install a system over there, and that system will monitor that uh, what does soil require in terms of nutrient, in terms of water, in terms of how many frequency water irrigation should be done, in terms of what is the progress of the crop, what are the diseases in the crop, that also can be identified. And it can easily convert a conventional farming into intelligent farming. And countries like Israel and some UK based countries are already adopting these kind of advanced practices for artificial intelligence based cultivation based on soil health monitoring, crop growth monitoring, and all other aspects of herbal farming is concerned. So that way you can easily control the cultivation of herbal drugs also. In addition to what I have suggested is identification of possible adulteration in herbal drugs. Secondly, we can have also some AI based platform for screening and optimization of herbal compounds. That also we can do with artificial intelligence. We can easily increase the productivity of farming, और जो हम खेती कर रहे हैं उसकी हम प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ा सकते हैं by putting AI based sensor devices and all other programming based mechanism as far as deep learning and machine learning is concerned, so that we can use. So there are a lot of applications of artificial intelligence in herbal drugs. As far as the future prospects are concerned, I think it is the world is exploring artificial intelligence in terms of detection of disease in plant. Again, you are having a diseased plant, you take a pic of the leaf or stem or something, and then you upload in a database. There are certain softwares available. There are certain mobile apps available. There you can easily detect that what this particular disease in the plant is, and what could be the remedial measures. What kind of medicines we can use for these particular kind of diseases. Then, as I told earlier, we can analyze the growth of the plant, in what time frame the plant should grow, and in what time frame the plant is growing. So we can easily interpret that whether the growth is optimum or not, and if it is not optimum, what might be the reason, what is the deficiency in soil, or what is the deficiency in terms of nutrient or environmental parameter. We can easily gauge of that, or we can easily assess that, and then we can modify and optimize our productivity of plant based herbal drugs or even crops also. So that kind of practices are adopted already by certain countries, as I told, like Israel. And then we can have intervention of various stakeholders, like farmers, then the middlemen, the middle buyers, then the marketing individuals, then the regulatory agencies as far as herbal drug monitoring is concerned, whether it is Ayurvedic Ayush department is concerned, whether it is National Medicinal Plant Board is concerned, whether it is Food Safety and Authority of India is concerned, whether it is the Pharmaceutical Regulatory Affairs agencies are concerned. These all agencies also can use artificial intelligence based system, and then they can easily ascertain the quality of the herbal drugs which they are using. And one fascinating aspect I talked already about in my talk is adulteration detection in herbal plants. That is also there. And then as far as a very unique feature of interactive platform for all stakeholders. That means if you have a certain crop with you, herbal drug with you, that you have 10 quintal of say dalchini with you, certified in particular aspect, we can upload that information in this particular mobile app or interactive platform, and any industry or buyer also can assess that whether the dalchini is available with which buyer, with which farmer, and they can easily interact and buy the particular herb as far as this particular interactive platform is concerned. This is very also unique for industries to identify the potential, the seller, the potential farmers to contact with for contract farming, and then they can easily establish e-trade as far as this particular artificial intelligence based interactive platform is concerned. So dear friends, with these words, I think there are so many fascinating aspects of artificial intelligence that can be used in herbal drug detection and also the trade of herbal drugs as far as quality characterization is concerned. So with these words, I think I will end my particular talk on this particular aspect. I assume that most of the things which I want to translate uh, uh, has already been conveyed, and I would like to welcome any question if it is there from any of the audience or any of the faculty members who are looking out for this particular aspects in this particular event. So with these words, on behalf of my lab at the department, Pharma Innovation Lab, I thank all of you once again for patient hearing. And dear friends, with last one message, with this 5C, competence, commitment, connection, consistency, you can conquer anything. So with this words, I thank you all for patient hearing, and I would like to take some questions if you want. Please, over to Swati.
Yeah, participants may ask question. Thank you, sir, for sharing your weighty proficiency with us. It will be a great pleasure to listen once more in our future events. I once again thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Our next session will start after a short break and will start at 1:30 p.m. with the same link. Thank you.